What do these three have in common? Anyone?
Biscuits.
Sugar.
That's it. But they're also vegan. I'm going to pass these around so you can have them while I'm speaking. So pass them around the room. Oh, thanks. Good evening, Ms. President, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. What does vegan mean? A vegan diet is one where you don't consume anything that comes from animals. So no meat, dairy, fish, or eggs. The main goal of my speech tonight is to persuade you to try a vegan diet for 1 month. The three main reasons that people go vegan are for animal welfare, for the environment, and for health, as EJ touched upon in her speech earlier. Those particular reasons, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail today because we don't have much time, but I would recommend that you watch this documentary called Earthlings, which you can find on YouTube, and it's very eye-opening and tells you more about those areas. But today, I want to focus on the human cost of the meat industry. Now, the meat industry obviously has a lot of different parts to it. There's people who are farming, the truck drivers, the slaughterhouse, the manufacturing, butchers, and lots of other areas. But right now, I just want to focus on the people who work in a slaughterhouse. Just to give you an idea, in the US alone, over 500,000 people are employed in slaughterhouses. That's just one country out of 195 in the world. So you can imagine millions of people are employed in a slaughterhouse. Most of these people are illegal workers or undocumented. They might be illiterate, and they can't really get a job anywhere else. It's true that some people who work in slaughterhouses might be ex-criminals, or they might be sadistic and want to kill, but the majority don't want to. They just want to earn money for their families, and they're forced into this kind of a job. So I just want to talk about 3 different effects that this can have on people. The first one is human rights. One slaughterhouse in the US put their profits and their margins so far above workers' rights that they weren't even allowed bathroom breaks. So they'd be on an 8-hour shift on a production line. They didn't want to slow it down and give them bathroom breaks, so they had to end up wearing nappies. Now that's degrading, and it's also a violation of human rights. It's kind of similar to child labour in Bangladesh, for example. You wouldn't buy a pair of trainers you knew were made by a child if you were aware of that and you can make another choice. So it's a similar idea. Another effect is on mental health. Imagine looking into the eyes of a cow and having to slash its throat. This is the reality for people who work in slaughterhouses. Hundreds and hundreds of animals per day are killed, and they have to do that and experience it all day long. So you can imagine the kind of psychological effects that would have on people. And then people are often admitted to mental health institutions. So, for example, one worker had nightmares that chickens were chasing him because he'd killed so many chickens in his life. And they're referred on then to the NHS or other systems. Which brings us to the third effect, which is on society. These people find violence and aggression so normal, it's so normalised and institutionalised, that it's hard for them to know the difference between the end of work and then leaving work. And then they might end up committing a lot of violent crimes outside of the slaughterhouse, things like rape, murder, GBH. It's been proven that in areas where there's a slaughterhouse, these kinds of violent crimes are much more prevalent. And then these people go into the justice system. And if you think about it, we're demanding animal products, we're allowing humans to be used in such a way, not even talking about the animals, but the humans involved. And then those people end up in the NHS or in the criminal justice system, and we as taxpayers are paying to deal with that problem that we caused and fix it with a solution, which doesn't really make sense. Imagine that it was your mum or dad or brother or sister or uncle or aunt who had to work in this kind of an environment. It's cruel and it's degrading. If you had the choice, would you choose to be cruel or to be kind? Today, I invite you to have a look at veganuary. This is a charity that helps people to think about going vegan or trying a vegan diet for a month, as I mentioned at the beginning. They send you lots of emails with tips and advice and recipes, and when you eat out, what kind of food you can eat off the menu. And they provide lots of information as well about where your food comes from, so you're more informed about the choices that you're making on a day-to-day basis. I'm obviously very happy as well to talk to you if you've got questions about veganism or would like to try it out or you want some ideas for recipes, then please do come and talk to me. Afterwards, I'm going to just show you, I'll give you a little slip that's got the link so that you can take it away and have a look at home as well. So today I urge you to make one simple trick to be kind and sign up to Veganuary. Thank you.